Here. I'm just kicking it today. Thought thought came to me that my wife was saying that I tell a lot of stories, and I worked 25 years in surgery, and so I'm like, what stories? What surgery stories? And certainly, like anyone that worked at a profession for a long time, they have lots of stories about people and stuff like that. I happen to work in the medical field, and one story that comes to mind today, and I sort of just was jotting notes down about it, is I was a trained operating room specialist in the United States Army in 1978, something like that. It was before hospitals were using disposables, actually. So it tells you a little bit of history about how long ago I was in the medical field, and I spent 25 years as an operating room technician, surgical assistant, working all over the United States. On that note, just want to give you a little background of where the story is coming from. So I got my training in the service, and I moved back to Wisconsin. That's where I'm from, and I wanted to work in open heart surgery, and I live way up in northern Wisconsin, and at the time there was nobody doing open heart surgery there, so you had to like get a job in Madison or Milwaukee, or maybe go to Chicago, and it was difficult because I didn't have any experience in open heart surgery, although I did have the training from a military school of how to do surgery, but I really had no idea about open heart surgery, and they would teach you or whatever. So my dad got me a job at a major medical center, and he could get you a job anywhere. We'll talk about that later. And he knew everybody, because he was a bartender and worked in the medical field. So the bartenders know, who's what, where, and when. And that's how my dad had such good hookups, but because he worked at a bar. And so he got me a job, and I went through orientation at a major medical center in Milwaukee. And I won't say which one it is. And but so then it was my first day. It's like a Monday or something like that, and I was going to go work in open heart surgery. And it was actually two guys. Me and Tony were the first two men to ever get hired there in the surgical field as technicians or employees in surgery. And there was over 350 women at the time that were working as employees at this major medical center in the surgical department. So you could see it was a big place. They ran 3 open heart rooms, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and all these other services, orthopedics, gynecology, general surgery, you name it, neuro. They had a big, brain surgery unit, whatever. And I think open heart surgery might have been their thing, and at the time it made a lot of money. And oh yeah, my monkey's up there somewhere. There he is. He's gonna go over here. There he is. Anyways, so Tony got hired. We went through orientation. And I went with him, and they tell us, Monday morning report, to the operating room. And this is like in the 70s, guys. They had tight security. I mean, we had badges, bunk, you had to put your thing through there. It had a picture on it. I mean, there's a security guard. Everything's under camera. We're not talking like any, just regular place, even in the 70s, they had tight security. And my starting wage was $4.25 an hour. And then, the more I tell the story, the more I think about it too. I didn't have a place to live, and I was living in the parking lot in my car, in October. It's cold as what in Wisconsin. Anyways, that's another story. But the first day that I got hired, Tony and I, we go, and when you go into surgery, if you hear my dog's like playing on the couch next to me. He's like like rolling around or something. We have 4 dogs, but anyways, Pono, we're live. Good boy. Okay. So, anyways, the first day, usually you go into surgery, they check you in, you go to the front desk, they look at you like, who are you? You're not supposed to be here, you're a man, you're obviously not an employee here. So, they may have not told the employees yet that they're hiring men. Even though we had been through orientation, some of them, they may not have known. So, we got the clearance to actually go into the nurses' lounge because there was no facilities for us because we were men. We'd have to go into the doctor's lounge, and the doctors are like, who the hell are these guys? They're not MDs. I mean, what are they doing here, and why did you hire them? What are they going to do? You do not want to put us in the doctor's lounge right off. So, anyways, we went in the nurses' lounge, and we sat down like in the corner, and there was like food on the table. And we didn't want to eat it because we didn't know if like the nurses bought it or the hospital brought it to them or whatever. So we just sort of sat there, and nobody really paid any attention to us. And they were just like all like ladies grouped up, all these dressed in surgical gowns, and talking about cases that they were doing. And it was the main lounge where all the services were in there. And a couple ladies looked at us like, sort of rolled their eyes. Oh God, not men in our nursing field or whatever. And this is 1978. Anyways, so we're sitting there, and the lounge is full. There's like 50 people in there, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this, and so you can understand. Like I was 19 years old, and most of these ladies and nurses, they've been in the field for a while. In the surgical field, they've seen everything. They've seen it all. I probably had like a year of experience and training in all around surgery. So I didn't have that much experience. I was real green. And this lady runs in the lounge, and she goes, "You should see the size of the guy in room 2," she says. And we're like, Tony and I just sat there, we looked at each other, the whole room cleared, and every woman, surgical lady in the room, old, young, ran and out into the place where you could observe, the patient cannot see you, and went to look at the size of this guy's, how do I say it, big left toe. This is my first day now. This is my first day that I got hired from this hospital, okay? I was 19 years old, so I hope you understand that. And I'm trying to make this story, a little bit shorter and more concise. Okay, next, all the ladies came back, right? And then they're just like laughing and giggling and all this stuff like that. And Tony and I are just like, holy crap, what did we get ourselves into? We were starting to get a little bit scared. Then they started to talk to us a little bit, ha, I guess you guys weren't interested in what we were looking at and stuff like that. We're like, no, and we're not, and we actually consider ourselves professionals, and we would never go running off to look at something like that. Tony was not like that either, and I'm not like that. Never have been, never will be. So we didn't have very much respect for these ladies, like right from the get-go, like every single one of them. There's like 50 of them. I don't know if they're just staging this or what. I don't know. This is our first day, and surgical people they're crazy, man. Anyways, so the plot thickens. Seriously, it gets better or worse, or like they do more stuff, right? So like this lady walks in. She's like this skinny little lady, and I don't remember her name. There's Shelly. They go like that, and we're like, oh no, there's Shelly. She gets after everyone, and we're like, what? She tries to go to bed with everyone. Basically, they told us, and then Tony and I look at each other. Oh God! And then Shelly comes over and she just looks at us and she goes, "Oh yeah, nobody can escape me," or something like that. I mean, dude, we were getting scared already, right? This is our first day. We both are working in open heart surgery, and we have to work with 300 women, and these are just like 50 of them, okay? Surgical nurses, okay? Right? It keeps going, you know. Then, we're still in the lounge because on Monday or something like that they have their Monday morning they have their big meeting. What happened this weekend, who broke what, and who's not here, and all like that, and whatever. And so before the meeting, it's like the meeting's going to start in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. This lady comes in. She has a huge trash bag, like 2 trash bags I think she had. And she's like, all these gloves, and she's like, "Here, take one. Shut up. Here, you take one, take one, take one." And all the nurses are just like laughing. "Oh God, not this again." I'm like, what is going on? Like, this place is absolutely insane. Tony, we're gonna work here? I don't know. Like $4.25 an hour to work with these people? Will we be this insane? Like, how long will it take us? And then the lady goes, "All right, there's nitrous in the gloves," she says. I'm like, I don't want to take nitrous. You're going to take nitrous if you're going to be around this place. And she says, "Untie your knot and take your first pull." And like, there's like 50 of us, all these surgical nurses and 2 of us technicians. And we took our first breathe in of the glove, right? And she's like, "Hold it and let out." And then we're like all sitting there, like 50 of us in the lounge, right? And Tony and I are looking at each other. "Well, it's not that bad. I feel pretty good, I'm starting to smile now. "Well, it's laughing gas, dude. You're going to smile in a minute." She's like, "Take another, breath of it." So we took another breath of the laughing gas. And then, like, they timed it. These nurses are, like, so funny. Like, they timed it exactly at the time that the meeting would start and the operating room supervisor would walk in. So we took our like 3rd breath of the glove that had nitrous oxide in it, and then she told us, everybody, she came around and hit all of our gloves. By that time it was like everybody's getting louder, starting to laugh, ha 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 ha. By the time the supervisor walked in, we were laughing so hard and so loud that you couldn't hear anything. 50 people were just like rolling on the ground. The supervisor just came in, rolled her eyes for the Monday morning meeting, and walked out. I mean, that was the beginning of my first day of being employed at a major medical center in open heart surgery.